Slightly tough topic to talk about this morning. When an owner's on the market for so long and they're holding out for such a price that it sort of becomes at a stage where you think, are they really going to get that price? Is this never going to happen? The unicorn buyer, the unicorn price. We're going to talk about it this morning. Does it happen in real estate?
Good morning.
Michael Silic, the Chris Hemsworth of real estate. How are you?
I'm good, Mark Novak. How are you?
Good. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about this morning. We brought Michael on, and he's got this It's a property in Delmar Parade in DY that we just sold last night, and came on the market. Now, first of all, off topic but great topic. This is a good example of making money off the plan.
Yes, it is. So this particular building where the owner had bought in, he had bought a couple of years prior off the plan for this block. The block itself, guys, if you don't know it, number 2 Delmar Parade, it's only been finished for about 6 months or so now, maybe a little bit longer. So it's pretty much a brand spanker. And not only this owner, but I know there's been quite a few other sales in the block where some owners have made some quite decent money in the time that they bought off the plan.
What sort of money did he pay?
He would have paid originally in the sort of 900 range.
That's pretty good. Sold for how much?
1188.
So a nice 200 grand sort of upshot there, but he took a risk. He bought off the plan. It's obvious with its risks that we have with off the plan. Took a risk, made 20% on the money.
But the biggest thing for a property like this is, and to note as well, when you're buying off the plan for this sort of situation, which is an investment, you're not only looking at the capital appreciation, but for other people that are looking to hold on to it as well, it's the rental return. And this property, guys, was rented for $1,050 per week. So these newer properties, rents are moving up anyway, but these newer properties are definitely achieving these big premiums. In this instance here, based off the purchase price, depending on what deposit someone would have put down, especially when interest rates are low, you'd be positively geared by quite a bit. But even in this interest rate environment, you'd be pretty close to neutrally geared on it. So be paying for itself.
The thing that I like with this purchase is you don't, even though it was purchased a couple of years back, you're not. There is a bit of a myth out there with buyers that with off the plan you're paying along the way. You're not paying a mortgage along the way, so you're achieving the capital growth in the property. Should there be capital growth, so even that rent that he's getting sort of was only for a 6 month period. It wasn't really that much drain in cash or upshot in cash flow. It's really about that period that it was purchased in the market and taking that whoop.
Yes.
It was so it would have been just prior to COVID, the purchase.
I'd say so. The best way to describe it is buying off the plan is buying for tomorrow's property for today's price. So if you think that let's say it's a 2-year project or 3-year project, if you think the market's going to be higher than it is today, it's 2 or 3 years, then with the right information behind you, it's a worthwhile shot.
And the bigger blocks do take longer to develop. So the pipe can be 2 or 3 years from purchase to delivering the product, delivering the unit to people. So if there's upshot in those periods, you're an absolute winner. Me personally, I think the unit market hasn't performed as well as the house market. It may be a good time to get into something now and get exactly what you want. But what today is about, that we had it on the market where you would normally sell a property in 2 weeks or 4 weeks. This was more like 2 months or 4 months. And then it leaves yourself as a seller scratching your head thinking, am I going to get this price, or am I wasting my time and the agent's time? And often as an agent, it leaves you an agent saying, you know, we're going to sell this or we're going to not sell this. There's other external pressures like tenancy of the property. So the property's got a tenant in there. The tenant's going, man, how long am I going to have to do these bloody opens for? But you felt proud, Michael, at the end. The owner felt proud as well.
Very much so. And it's one of these things, because as an agent, the golden question I get asked with a property like this, once it's been on the market for, let's say, longer than that initial month, is what's wrong with the property? Why has it been on the market for so long? It's the golden question that buyers ask. They think, oh, it's been on the market a little while. It must be overpriced, A, or there must be something wrong with the strata. And it's very interesting because in this instance here, it was neither. There was nothing wrong with the price. There was nothing wrong with the strata, but it's literally like a roller coaster ride. And that's why we wanted to go through it today with you guys and sort of describe the situation of it. Because all you hear about is the sort of amazing sales where they sell in 1 week and they sell for a record price, but no one wants to talk about the sale that goes on a little bit longer. And for this one here, we had quite a bit of interest earlier in the campaign. We had offers come through. Unfortunately, it didn't come to fruition. Then it went through this lull for a little bit, and then at the 11th hour, all the way towards the end, multiple buyers end up jumping on the property. We end up having to run another best and fairest with it as well, because there was a couple of offer makers there, and then it ends up closing out. And it's just, sometimes it blows my mind as an agent, but also as a buyer, you go, what do you mean? There's been nothing happening on this property for ages. It's been quiet, and then all of a sudden you think that, okay, now there's heaps of people on it. And in this instance here, it worked in the owner's favour, and there was multiple people at the end, and he got the price he was looking for.
And I do often find it really, really weird that there's no one, and then there's 2 or 3 people on the property at the last minute. It does happen to us, but it's like, man, you've had 16 weeks to make an offer on this property, and you all decide to come on the last week or the last day to put an offer on it. It is the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing.
People want what other people want.
It's the weirdest thing. So there you go, 975. It was purchased in November 2020.
There we go.
So pretty much 200k more, and pretty much November to November now, it was 3 years. But it probably only settled, I think I've got the settlement date here as well, Feb.
There we go.
So 6 months.
6 months of paying a mortgage and 200k upshot.
It's a unit in a market where there's already 10,000 units off the plan. People would say, I don't want to buy in DY, there's too many units. People would say, it's just too risky because there's too many units, but it's not, because if you look at the amount of properties delivered into DY per year, it's only it's a fraction of that. So DY probably does about 580 sales a year. So to drop in a block of 80 units, which this was a block in, it's still a fraction. And not only that, it's new. The price point is different to those 550 units that sell in that year, and the stock is different. Correct.
And the thing is, the precedent's been set as well. We've had new buildings come into DY in the time that I've been in real estate over the past 7 years. I've seen multiple newer blocks come into DY, and every single time a new block has come into DY, it has performed well. The prices that they sell for off the plan, the prices that they sell for afterwards, they've all done well and had great performance. So I think that's sort of great from a buyer's perspective, that you have that confidence to say, well, I'm not just gambling on the unknown. No, you're not. We've seen it happen before.
And I'll say it again, over those 3 years, 2.5 of the years, that owner carried no mortgage when he bought it off the plan, but he froze his price. He froze his price back in 2020 and only settled on it in February this year. So great news. So Michael, before we go, lessons here in summary?
Lessons here in summary. Sometimes for the owners out there that are holding out for their price, you do get there in the end. The patience does pay off. Buying off the plan, there are some great stories like this one here. And it's nice to see that over the course of a campaign, as a buyer as well, advice for buyers out there, don't wait till the 11th hour. If you like a property, take the opportunity where it's there in front of you, because what happens is you wait and everyone jumps in together.
And then for I think also as an agent, like make sure your agent's got that stamina and that patience to keep reinventing the campaign, keep refreshing,
Correct.
stay fresh, not stay stagnant. Because I think sometimes even verbally it can come out of the agent's mouth badly if they're not thinking fresh. They're like, oh yeah, it's been on the market. But enthusiastic, you guys were pumped, the buyer was pumped, the price was right. There you go. Tail of the sale.
Great story. Tell us how.
1/2/2 Del Mar Pre DY.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark.
Well
Thanks,
done,
mate.
man. Well done. Amazing job. See ya.
Cheers.